Hey everybody, today we're talking about the foods that cause bloating, inflammation, and weight gain. My name is Coach Andrew, and I help entrepreneurs, high performers, and ex athletes lose 15 or more pounds in under 90 days without starving themselves or spending all day in the gym. And today I want to talk to you about the foods that can create gut issues that make weight loss a little bit harder. So, we have helped hundreds of people do the same thing, reduce bloating and inflammation to lose weight. And so I'm going to show you exactly the foods that we aim to avoid if we're having gut issues. Okay. The first type of food is called a FODMAP. Big fancy name for this, but essentially these are fermentable carbohydrates that are found in some foods like onions, garlic, and certain fruits. Now, these aren't issues for everybody, but for people who do have specific GI issues like SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is responsible for over 70% of IBS cases, these are not well tolerated. And essentially, what happens is when you eat these foods that have high FODMAPs, a lot of FODMAPs, the gut bacteria will ferment the FODMAPs, resulting in gas and bloating. Okay. So for people who do have issues with gas and bloating, we do try to avoid FODMAPs for a little while. Now, remember for all these foods, the goal is to be able to eat them again, but we have to go through the process of healing your gut before we reintroduce the foods. So this is just about the removal phase of certain foods that cause issues. I'm not today talking about how we re-implement and reintroduce these foods so that you can, eat these foods over again, because you should be able to eat things like apples, onions, and garlic eventually. Okay. The second type of food is seed oils, and seed oils contain high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which are essentially pro-inflammatory. They cause inflammation. And so having these omega-6s can tip the balance of inflammation in the body in a negative way, leading to digestive discomfort. Examples are canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. And the ones that you want to have that are not listed here are olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, ghee. Those things are low inflammatory and will help if you do have digestive issues. Okay, sugar, third type of food we want to avoid here. Sugary treats and drinks have been shown to disrupt the gut microbiome and create inflammation, and this can contribute to bloating and digestive distress. It can also feed gut dysbiosis, which essentially just creates an imbalance of good to bad bacteria in your gut, which leads to a lot of issues down the road, leaky gut, and obviously gas, bloating, constipation, things like that. Artificial sweeteners. Believe it or not, these have a similar effect on the gut microbiome as sugar does. Even though they are 0 calories, so a lot of people consume them when they're trying to lose weight because they want that sweet, taste without the calories, they can still cause gut issues. And so if your problem is that you're struggling with bloating and digestive issues and you're trying to lose weight, we really want to make sure that we're not having artificial sweeteners because these can exacerbate the issue. So things like energy drinks, Diet Coke, right? Like those drinks have a lot of artificial sweeteners in them, or adding it to your coffee for that matter. Dairy. So lactose intolerance is a big one and can definitely cause gas and bloating as well. As people who are lactose intolerant, they don't have the enzyme that breaks down lactose, which by the way, lactose is a FODMAP. So something to think about there. Usually those two are combined. And in addition to the lactose, like sometimes people will have lactose free dairy and think they're all right, but sometimes the inflammation from the casein protein that's found in dairy can also affect certain people. So you may just not be able to have dairy altogether. You may be able to have dairy that's lactose free. It really depends on the person. And so dairy is another one that can definitely cause inflammation in a lot of people. Gluten. Gluten is an interesting one. It's found in wheat, barley, rye, and can cause issues for those who have a sensitivity or who have celiac disease. The interesting thing is that this actually is creating an immune response in the body that's triggered by gluten. And you can interchangeably use immune and inflammation. Like when you have an immune response, you're going to have inflammation. It's kind of what your body does to bring healing to the area. And so when we have gluten, and if you are triggered by it, you're sensitive to it, it's going to create inflammation and an immune response that is not good. A lot of people end up having a lot of digestive stress happen because of it. Gums, thickeners, and emulsifiers. So these are found in processed foods, and they might seem harmless. You're going to find them, like if you look at the back of a package of a processed food, you're going to find something like this in there. And these additives can ferment in the gut and create dysbiosis just like some of the other things like sugar and artificial sweeteners do, leading to gas and discomfort. So some examples are guar gum, xanthan gum, and they're found commonly in your pre and post workout drinks as well. So if you look at those and you're having those before you work out, check the back of the package, see if it does have these gums in it, because there's actually been studies done where they use gums specifically to disrupt the gut microbiome so that they can test it. Like, it is known that this is causes a lot of stress in the gastric system. Phthalates. So these are found in some packaged foods and plastics, and are linked to inflammation, digestive disturbances, hormone imbalances as well. And they might not be on your radar, but they can definitely contribute to the overall picture. The most common one is BPA. You'll see BPA-free things all the time, but there are other phthalates that can be contributing to digestive issues. Alcohol is a big one. Alcohol consumption can definitely irritate the digestive tract and cause inflammation and bloating, and it can also lead to low stomach acid production, which your stomach acid helps you break down food. And so, if we're not breaking down our food fully, it can cause a lot of issues in your digestive system. And on top of that, it also reduces the amount of bacteria. If you don't have as much stomach acid, then not as much bacteria will get killed in your stomach. And then those bacteria make their way into your intestines and can lead to things like SIBO and other digestive infections. So moderation is definitely key with alcohol. Now, the metabolic health revival is our pathway that helps entrepreneurs, athletes, and high performers lose 15 or more pounds in under 90 days without starving themselves or spending all day in the gym. Low inflammatory nutrition is it's just one piece of the puzzle in how we reduce bloating by removing some of those foods, right? It's just one small piece of what we do though to help these people you know, lose 15 more pounds in under 90 days. And so the first phase is steps 1 through 3. And this is how we help our clients set the foundation for success by identifying what the core problem is with a comprehensive assessment. Okay. In phase 2, which is steps 4, 5, 6, we're essentially implementing the plan, right? We're removing the core problem and losing 15 or more pounds in under 90 days. And then step 3, we're amplifying, we're essentially taking the plan and making those results sustainable through exercise, through recovery, and through reintroduction of the foods that we've removed so we can build resilience to them so you can eat like a normal human being for the rest of your life and still keep the weight off. Very critical. So, step 4 is just one piece of low inflammatory nutrition, which is what we kind of went over here. Some of the foods that we avoid. That's a piece of what we do in low inflammatory nutrition. There's a whole lot more, but that's just part of the nutrition piece. Then we also have to work on our habits and get more movement in, increase our metabolism. Like, those are all things that we're working on here in our pathway, so that when we do lose the weight, we actually keep it off for good. Okay. So if you want to reduce bloating and lose 15 or more pounds in under 90 days, I'd love to help you. If you feel like you need support and the system behind you to get you where you want to be. So if you do want to see if we can help, hit the link in the description here, book a free consult with us, and we'll get on a free call and just see if we can even help you in the first place and go from there. All right. So I'm excited to talk with you, and I'll see you on the other side.